Hi, I'm Sarah Vickers-Webb from Santa Cruz Tech Beat, and I am here with Josh Resnick from Parallel Flight Technologies. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thanks for having me.
All right, and we just found out you were a runner-up in the Monterey Bay Startup Challenge, so congratulations. That's amazing news. So, would you like to talk a little bit first, just to introduce people to what you do? What does Parallel Flight Technologies do?
PFT is designing a new type of heavy lift drone. We can build aircraft that lift more and fly longer using our proprietary hybrid power module technology.
All right. Okay, and then so your startup recently participated, as I just mentioned, in the Monterey Bay Startup Challenge, and it was totally virtual this year. So can you tell us a bit about that experience?
Yeah, it was great. I've done a number of different pitch competitions. They're always fun. It's a great chance to meet other entrepreneurs, meet judges, meet mentors. And the difficulty for me this year was the virtual side of things. I tend to be much more engaged when I'm talking with people than when I'm trying to pre-record something. So I found that to be a challenge. But the thing that was great was they paired me with an excellent mentor who's done a ton of technology commercialization over the years. And so I was really able to learn a lot from him, and I'm hoping that that relationship will continue even now that the competition's over.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I've heard that they have really great mentorship opportunities through all of those the Monterey Bay startup programs. All right, so I know that recently PFT donated 3D printers to help produce PPE equipment with, is it PPE for Central Coast?
Yeah, so actually we got approached by Doug Erickson with Santa Cruz Works, and put the word out, hey, we need PPE. Can anybody help produce this in the startup community? And we have a number of 3D printers here. So we didn't actually donate the printers, but we just started cranking PPE out on the printer.
Okay.
We made tons of face shields, several hundred of these over the past couple weeks, and other local startups have been making the plastic part that goes in front. We've been printing the frames that go on your head. So it's been a great way to help local organizations that actually need the gear. It doesn't just go into like a black hole somewhere. They tell you, oh, this went to this research institute that's doing vaccine research. So it's been pretty exciting to actually see it go get used locally.
Wow, that's great. Well, it must really feel great to be a part of that as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a terrible situation, but we want to do at least something that can help in the near term.
Of course. So this week, I've been hearing Governor Newsom's been talking a lot about preparing for wildfire season while considering the pandemic. So how can heavy lifting drones be of use during a pandemic and during wildfire season this year?
So there's really two answers there. I think just on the pandemic side, when you have these kind of health emergencies where you need to move things around rapidly, and you really want to grease the wheels on that supply chain as much as possible. So being able to, for example, move thousands of test kits, from like a central hub location to spokes, for example, you have that kind of hub and spoke logistics model.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to do that very rapidly in the future, heavy lift and rapid transport drones are going to be part of that. Unfortunately, that's not the reality today, and we're also constrained by just a lack of test kits. But I think in the future, there's going to be hundreds and if not thousands of startups that are going to be working on being able to deploy medical testing faster, and then logistics startups like ours that are going to provide the technology to just move anything around faster. So in these kind of situations, that's going to be a huge help in the future. And then in terms of the wildfire, which has been really also an ongoing crisis worldwide, the ability to protect the firefighters on the ground and make them more effective by providing them with logistics more rapidly is going to be a big help. in the midst of a pandemic, when there may not be as many first responders available, putting autonomous solutions in the field to do some of that work is going to make it safer and more effective. So we see our technology being able to help bring supplies to the front lines where the fire is being fought, to do controlled burns, to help make fire breaks to prevent oncoming fire, and then eventually even to put out spot fires. So,
Wow.
you know, adding autonomy to these situations will make firefighters more effective, even in the midst of a pandemic, but also in normal circumstances as well.
Wow, that's amazing. And actually, sorry, I have a question that's not on the list. How much weight can the drones carry?
So our prototype, which you see kind of hovering above me, carrying a couple chainsaws, you know, we've lifted about 50 pounds with that aircraft. Now, the thing that's unique about that is it can do it for hours, which is what's special. A normal multi-rotor electric drone can only do that for, 12, 15 minutes, something like that. But the beta version that we're actually going to be deploying with customers early 2021, that is targeted to have 100-pound payload capacity.
Wow, that's a lot. That's
We're super excited about it.
That's amazing. All right, and one last question. Tell us something about PFT and your team during the pandemic that's made you proud.
So everybody's really stepped up to taking on working remotely as much as possible. We are in the middle of a grant from the National Science Foundation to develop software and computer simulations of our unique aircraft technology. So the team's done a great job executing on that grant, even in the middle of the pandemic. I'm, personally thankful that we had just wrapped up a funding round prior to the pandemic, which went really well. So we have had the opportunity to just go into this really serious design phase. We've had to scale back some of the testing, some of the flight testing that we've been doing. So we were able to get some done, but we've scaled it back and been focused on designing our next aircraft. And as things are starting as the restrictions are starting to loosen up, we're able to go into more testing and starting to test some of the hardware that's been getting designed over the past couple months. So the team's done a great job, and I'm thankful to have them all aboard.
Oh, that's wonderful! Congratulations on the funding. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
And just to say this, we have another funding round that's going to be opening up real soon, so we'll keep you posted on that.
Oh yeah, please do. I'm excited to get that information when it comes.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for talking to me. And yeah, keep us updated on anything new that happens.
I sure will. Thanks so much for taking the time to interview.
All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.